Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Gainey Titan. We're here on Live Oaks and we're with the M26 Pershing, Tier 8 American tank, and it's a Tier 9 battle. Live Oaks was off the map rotation for quite a long time. They were doing stuff to it. Well, actually they've changed the swamp area quite considerably. There's a lot more dry terrain, but there still isn't. I don't think there's a lot of cover in there. So I don't know if it has actually changed the way you should play this map very much. In my opinion, the way you should play this map, doesn't matter what spawn you're in, is that the heavily armoured tanks head straight for the town and fight it out, preferably at the right of the corner, A1, B1, B2, A2, that area, with support from tank destroyers there around D1, and some light tanks spotting around the edge of E4. And meanwhile, the tanks with good gun depression and mediums, supported by tank destroyers, should attack or defend along the railway line. And there are multiple locations, there's plenty of ridge lines to fight along the railway line for tanks with good gun depression. So the railway line is where I'm going. And since that light tank is retreating, I'm going to push fairly hard. I'm going to get to this ridge line at the very least. I want to get up as far as I can because there's a decent amount of support behind me. It's just far back a bit. So the AMX-12 or the HVX-12, is it? Yes, HVX-12 is actually pulling back. So I'm going to get as far as this ridge line, because the further up you are, the less ridge lines the enemy have to retreat behind, and the less the easier it is then to attack, because you've only got two ridge lines really remaining from here on out. A couple of tanks up there. Take a slap. I think that's probably from the M103. There's T-34-2. It's taking a bit of damage because I'm spotting them as well. This guy's been spotted out at the edge of the field, so I thought, right, I'm going to go down into the corner. Going down into the corner is a good idea anyway, because anyone who tries to poke the ridgeline to shoot the tanks that were coming up behind me is also going to expose themselves to flanking fire from this position. So mostly I'm content to spot at the moment and not take too many risks, because I don't have immediate support beside me and I don't want them to encourage them to rush me. But now I've been joined by the Centurion, and the T-34-2 has learned the mistake of crossing over that ridgeline with tanks flanking him. He's not going to do that again in a hurry. He's one-shot kill now for anybody up here. There's a heavy tank after joining us as well. That's probably the T-29 that was earlier on. And I'm just trying to keep the enemy spotted so that the tank destroyers behind me have targets to shoot at. We don't have any artillery in play. I think that M103 is making a mistake in his location. He's not far forward enough. He'd be better off using that tank more aggressively. And he's not far back enough either, in the sense that if he wants to be support, he should probably be further back, because once we clear that side of it, there's another little hollow in the ground here, and we've taken out two tanks in pretty short order because they were coming over the ridgeline and they were exposing themselves to superior force. But we've greatly weakened the enemy defences now. And we have multiple locations to come over the ridgeline from, and we have more support coming up behind as well. Now that M103 is going to find itself very exposed, because it's going to be continuously spotted from now on with the tanks, three of us here on the ridgeline. And he's probably going to be shortly within range of the tank destroyers behind us. Now the main thing that's saving him so far is that there's a curve on that railway line, and the train is probably blocking the line of sight, direct line of sight from where the tank destroyers are. But when the tank destroyers get up to the railway bridge, they should have no trouble shooting the M103. So the three of us in advance can take out the two defenders here in the hollow behind the ridgeline we're on, and we have another heavy tank after arriving, so now we have four of us against two. The T-34-2 is after taken out, so the Waffenträger is now in serious trouble. He's tracked, he's in the open, and we've just managed to finish him off. And now it's just the M103, and he's no support further back, so, and he's no cover where he is either. Once we reach the ridgeline here, he's going to be completely exposed no matter where he goes. He's gone down to the low ground because not all of us have arrived yet, but it's only a matter of time. We've tracked him with that shot, and he's only got a one shot left, so he's gone. A T-29 turns up at the back of the base just in time to catch the rest of us coming up against him, and now he's not in a good position either. He should be hauled down and further back if he wants to make any effective defence from that location. We've also managed to catch the defenders on the hill there at C6, and they're caught in the open now because they have flanking fire. One of them's gone already. The other two are trying to make their escape across the swamp, but I don't think that's very likely that they're going to achieve this, although the light tank has probably got the best chance. The T-29 is gone now, and once that tank is out of the way, the tank destroyer is not in my line of sight, so the rest of us can just come up on top of the railway line and take out these two guys in the swamp. So that is going to leave us very strongly in command of the battlefield, really. The enemy team are doing better in the town, but they haven't won decisively, and at this stage it's too late. It doesn't matter, even if they win in the town now, they are so heavily outnumbered. And there are still tanks surrounding the town from all directions, so they're going to be forced to fight the rest of us in the town, and we outnumber them considerably, so this should be just a mopping up operation, particularly now since we've actually managed to reduce the remaining enemy tanks down to 3 tanks. So it's now a question of what we can catch up with. There's a Tortoise in the town anyway, and they're all tank destroyers, and I think they're all turretless tank destroyers as well, so they're going to be at considerable disadvantage really fighting the town, especially when you're outnumbered. So I'm going to cross over the railway embankment so that I can come into the town behind the other tanks. I'm not going to come up along the other route. It's a lot of obstacles. It's going to be a lot slower, so if I want to have any chance of getting a shot in, I need to get there as quickly as I can, and I think this is probably the fastest route. But there's only one left now, and that's the Tortoise, and that's surviving simply because it's the Tortoise. It's got a lot of hit points, it's got very good armour, and he's probably got himself backed up against the back of the map so people can't get behind him, which is as good as he can manage under the circumstances. I've come around this side because there's just too many tanks coming in the other route, and I overshoot the junction here, come back out. All I can really see is the commander's hatch. Bounce that one and wait for the reload. He's still alive, so we're going to try again, and we get the final shot in, and that's it. So 8 damaging ribbons, which is respectable enough. 13 assisted damage. We actually spotted 6 tanks as well, which is pretty good. So we spotted a substantial amount of the enemy team. So we did 600 direct damage, almost 3,000 assisted damage. We got a first class mastery, so that should see us well up on the table. And we came number 1 by experience. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with that result. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a like, and if you haven't already done so, please consider giving the channel a subscription. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all again soon.